Now, to continue the discussion about mandalas and mandala masterworks, we have to remember that the majority of mandalas in Himalayan art come out of the Sakya school and the branch schools of Sakya, like Ngorpa, Shalupa, Jonang, Bodong, and the branch schools. Then we have, in terms of quantity, then we have Gelug. And Gelug is very late. We're looking at really early to mid 15th century, where they began to really kind of organize as a structured independent school, rather than actually being an offshoot of Sakya. Even it was perceived at that time that they were just an offshoot. And they had a tremendous amount of sponsorship from the Mongols and from the Chinese court. So they had a lot of funding for making large monasteries, temples, murals, painting sets. Then what we find is Kagyu. The Kagyu, of course, we have Drukpa, Karma Kagyu, Taklung, Drikung. We have these four main ones. And then, of course, we have Drukpa divided into three more parts, which is basically Tibet, Bhutan, and then Ladakh. There's very little Karma Kagyu, Drukpa Kagyu, Drikung. There's very little, very few examples of Kagyu Mandala art. And so when you have a very small pool to choose from, it's hard to find masterworks. Now, for Nyingma has the fewest of all mandalas. And the vast majority of mandalas of the Nyingmas are all created in the last 200 years. And but also it's very difficult to find masterworks. There's very few. Now, back to Kagyu. So with Kagyu, we do have some. We have some early examples, and we've been able to really look at it and see how to divide it up for study topics. And what you really need to know about Kagyu mandalas is you have to know what are the unique characteristics so that you can actually recognize them as being part of one of the many Kagyu traditions. Second, you have to look at what region are they coming out of, what time period, what style. And then fifthly, a very important sort of category of study is painting sets. How many painting sets that are masterworks can you put together? And on the HAR website now, we have really a good range. We're really going from the 13th, 14th century up until actually the 19th century with Drukpa Kagyu Kampagar mandalas. We also have one mandala that's a symbol mandala. They don't use figures; they just use symbols, and it belongs to the Karma Kagyu tradition, and it is the Sri Devi, Rongjung Gyalmo, and Bernok Chen in union on top of the donkey. Now, one of the very earliest of the Kagyu mandalas we have is actually a Vajravali, and it's coming out of the Taklung tradition. Then we have a set of paintings which are very early, and right now we only have 5 of them, but they appear to be, it's a little confusing, but they appear to be either Vajravali or Mitra Gyatsa. Now, the reason there's some confusion is because there's a 4-faced, 12-armed Vajrayogini that doesn't really appear in the Vajravali, but does appear in the Mitra Gyatsa. But then the other paintings appear definitely to be more Vajravali related. So it's hard to say at this time. It just needs more study, more research. Also in the upper and lower registers with these 5 paintings from this very early set, we actually have the Sadhansagara or the Druptop Gyatso collection represented with many different deities such as Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri, Tara, and many others, Pancharaksha, Marichis, Sarasvatis, Prajnaparamitas. So it's quite an interesting set. We have 5 of these early paintings. So these are the categories that really need to be looked at: is unique characteristics for the Kagyu mandalas. Then we look at region. Now, region's important because are we looking at Kashmir? Are we looking at West Tibet, Nepal, Mongolia, Northern China, Amdo or Kham? And then the styles can be very different. So then the time period is very important. The actual style itself, if it can be a named style rather than a regional style. Named styles, of course, are early Indian type style, Nepalese, Menri, Kenri, New Menri, Kamri, all of these styles that can be named with very clear examples. And then the painting sets are very important. They're important not just for the Kagyu, but they're important for the Sakya as well, and for the Gelugpa. We don't really have enough Masterworks paintings of Nyingma to be able to talk about painting sets. So we leave that alone at this time. So we'll leave it there. You can press like, you can subscribe, you can join HAR on Patreon, and you can also make a donation on the homepage of Himalayan Art Resources.